Today I'm going to teach you the correct way to do Uttanasana, or forward fold as it's known in Western language. The pose is a really good basic yoga pose. You'll probably find it in all flows, all classes that you might go to. It's just a simple forward fold. It's really good for opening up the lower back, opening up the hamstrings, the glutes, the hips, getting into that area, and stretching the spine, releasing stress, taking away tension from the neck. And it also can help with digestion and your internal organs. So it's a really good one if you have problems with like IBS or things like that. So if you come to your mats or find a space on the floor, wherever you're doing your practice today, and just simply stand in Tadasana with your feet hip distance apart. Think about really rooting your feet into the ground. So the best way I like to teach my students to do this is to lift their toes, spread them, press them down into the ground, and really activate the legs so you're pushing your feet down into the ground. Think about tucking your tailbone under and sucking your navel back towards your spine and rolling your shoulders back and down. Inhale as you lift through the crown of your head. Imagine you're being stretched up really tall by a piece of string from the top of your head, and really try and keep length in that spine. Once you've found that length in your spine, we're going to inhale to stretch it further, bring the hands above the head, and then exhale as you reach forwards before you go down to keep that length. So exhale to fold forwards, hinging at the hips, trying to keep as much length as possible, keeping that spine nice and long, and bringing your head so the crown of your head is now pointing towards the floor. So if you're finding that you can't touch the floor, that's perfectly fine. I want you to think about bringing your chest to your knees. So if you need to take a bend in your knees to bring your chest down towards your thighs, then please do so. I'd rather that than straight legs. Then think about letting that crown of the head hang loose to the floor, so your neck should be nice and long. You can cradle your arms, you can place your hands on the floor, you can put your hands behind your calves and pull your body in tighter depending on how you're feeling and what kind of practice you want to have today. Then if you've got your knees bent, now begin to think about straightening those legs so that you can come into that nice forward fold. Your tailbone should be pointing towards the ceiling. Your chest should be pulling down towards the thighs. So try and bring your nipples to knees is a term that I always use to try and get students to get the length in their spine. So you want to make sure your spine is nice and long. The lower part of your back should be nice and long and flat. You should not be hunched trying to reach down. There shouldn't be any pain in your upper back at all. It should all be coming from the lower back. You should be feeling this in your hamstrings, your glutes. Your lower back should be stretching open across the sides. And then you can just take a few breaths here, depending on what your practice is. This might be a transitional pose, or you might just want to hang out here for 5 to 10 breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And if you're doing that, try and use the exhale to fold deeper into the stretch each time so that you're releasing tension in the body, letting the muscles succumb to that tightness and releasing that tightness so that you can eventually completely fold flat, bringing your head towards your knees. And then inhale to come all the way back up. Exhale, release the arms. And that is how you do Uttanasana.